This morning, with the government shut down, there's a lot of finger pointing going on. Democrats want to include an extension of Obamacare subsidies that expire at the end of the year. Republicans have refused to negotiate on subsidies unless Democrats first agree to a short-term resolution that would fund the government for 7 weeks. Let's go to René Marsh to get a rundown of who might be affected by the shutdown. René.
That's right. We're just hours into this shutdown, and this morning thousands of federal workers are now furloughed. I want to give you a snapshot on just how many at various government agencies. We have a full screen there, which has a breakdown of a variety of agencies. More than 11,000 at the FAA, and several others are now furloughed. We know that the longer this will drag on, the more painful that this will be for Americans. There are essential programs and services that will continue despite the shutdown: Social Security and Medicare benefits, unemployment, jobless benefits, the National Weather Service forecast and warnings, that will continue. Veterans medical services, ICE immigration enforcement, Custom and Border Protection, and TSA are all considered essential employees, so they will have to continue to work without pay for the duration of this. And the same goes for air traffic controllers. So if you have a flight right now, you should be okay, but there's a caveat. The longer things drag out, circumstances may change. John, I covered the 2018 to 2019 shutdown, and that lasted 35 days. And we saw TSA and air traffic controllers call out sick after missing multiple paychecks, and that sparked delays at airports across the country. So again, depends on how long this lasts. Passports and visas will still be processed, but that may take longer. IRS operations will continue, and so will mail delivery. But here is what is compromised. Portions of national parks and services will shut down. At the FDA, no new drug applications, some monitoring will be compromised. And the program that serves millions, Special Supplemental Nutrition Program for Women, Infants, and Children, also known as WIC, we understand and are hearing from people this morning that that program has about a week's worth of money, possibly two. After that, women, children, newly pregnant women with infants may not have access to nutritious foods. So lots at stake here. Again, John, just depending on just how long this shutdown drags out.
So that is what is at stake. René Marsh, thank you so much. Let's get back to the Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, who joins us now from Capitol Hill. Senator, I was saying that every Republican who's gone on TV the last, 9 hours or so has called this the Schumer shutdown. What do you think about that name?
Well, it's really the Trump shutdown. Let me say something to you, John, that Republicans thought that they could barrel us into a shutdown because they didn't want to protect the health care of the American people. Well, now they've seen they can't bully us, they can't barrel us. They don't have the votes to push their partisan bill through that did nothing to protect American health care. So the solution now is for both sides to sit down and come to an agreement that protects American health care. The American people are struggling and healthing, and here's some news. We just got it from the Kaiser Health Foundation, that starting today, people will get notices that their health care premiums could go up as much as $1,000, more than double. We thought it was $400 a month. It's more than that. When people get these bills, they're going to be outraged, and they're going to say, how do we stop it? And the answer is simple. Democrats should sit down with Republicans, and Republicans should negotiate with us to deal with this health care crisis. It's really descending upon the American people in a very bad way, and they're going to be furious, and they're going to be furious at the people who refuse to do that, who refuse to help the American people with the health care crisis that they created in their so-called big, bad, beautiful bill, which they now want to change the name to. They know it's so bad. And we can solve this.
So there are 3 Democrats, or 2 Democrats and 1 independent, who voted with Republicans on the clean bill to keep the government open. Senator Angus King, the independent from Maine, John Fetterman from Pennsylvania, and Catherine Cortez Masto from Nevada. She said we should not be swapping harm to one group of Americans for another. What do you say to that?
Well, I'm saying that the health care crisis is so deep and so real, and these $1,000 a month, $500, $600, $700 a month increases. Imagine you're an American family sitting at the table this week, and you see that your health care costs, your insurance is going to double. you're going to say, what the heck am I going to do? Somebody help me. Well, Democrats want to help. Republicans thus far don't, but now that I think they've seen that they can't bully us into just passing their bill, which does nothing, zero for American health care, and has not had any Democratic input, despite the fact that we've asked to sit down with them week after week and month after month, they will now see that. And we're going to be out there fighting, John.
So
Democrats are going to be all over the TV wires, all over the districts, protesting, all over the social media. And the American people are on our side. The polls show that something like 80% don't like the big, bad, beautiful, the big, beautiful, it's bad, ugly bill that they have put forward.
So again, as I said, you lost 3 votes. You may be able to lose at 8. The government will probably reopen. Will give Republicans enough votes. How confident are you that you won't lose more Democrats?
Our caucus is resolute that we have to solve this healthcare crisis. That's our job. When something really afflicts the American people so badly, it's the job of senators on both sides of the aisle to come together. And here's what we hope. Now that the Republicans have seen they don't have the votes, they've done it twice, they will sit down and negotiate in good faith. Even when we talked to President Trump at the White House, he knew that the increases, these dramatic increases in people's health care insurance was going to hurt him. And he said that. So I think there's an opening for them to sit down with us.
So in terms of an opening, in terms of an off-ramp, Vice President J.D. Vance, just like 5 minutes ago in one of his own TV interviews, said that he's willing to go to the Capitol to talk to Chuck Schumer and Senate Democrats about premium support for the Affordable Health Care Act, but only after the reopening of the government. So what do you say to that? That he'll have the discussion, but after you vote yes?
They've had since March to do this. We've asked them to vote on it 3 times, the Republican senators, and all 3 times they voted no. We need a real answer now. If they kick the can down the road, you know, as Martin Luther King once said, Senior, later means never. They know this is a crisis. They keep, they don't want to talk about it, so they keep putting up this false stuff that undocumented immigrants will get this. No, the law is clear that no Medicaid, no Medicare, no ACA can go to any undocumented immigrants, but they keep bringing that up because they're afraid to talk about the real issue. Talk about it now.
One of the things that Republicans are also doing, and they're doing in the White House press briefing, with the running sound of Democrats talking about shutdowns in the past, including sound of you. This is the type of thing you've said about shutdowns in the past. Let's listen.
What if I persuaded my caucus to say I'm going to shut the government down, I'm going to not pay our bills unless I get my way? It's a politics of idiocy, of confrontation, of paralysis. Shutting down government over a policy difference is self-defeating. We can never hold American workers hostage again. While the CR bill is very bad, the potential for a shutdown has consequences for America that are much, much worse. Therefore, I will vote to keep the government open and not shut it down.
That was you 3 times in the past. Go ahead. What's different this time?
Yeah, that was in March, John, before they had done these horrible things to health care, before they had introduced these rescissions which would allow them to ignore the budget process. And the bottom line is, when I was majority leader, we had 13 times to vote on a budget. Do you know why there was no shutdown? We sat and negotiated with the Republicans every time. They got some things, we got some things. They did not negotiate at all. They refused, despite repeated entreaties by Hakeem and me, to go to the White House to sit down with Thune and Johnson. Look, if you want to know who wants a shutdown, look at the House. Johnson had the House adjourn all this week. So they couldn't even if the Senate had come up with a solution, they couldn't vote on it. But now that they've seen they can't bludgeon us, they can't roll us, hopefully they're going to sit down and negotiate now, not kick the can down the road, which they've done. It's been 45 days, 45 days, 45 days, and they've never done anything.
The senators, everyone in Congress right now on the Republican side is really pointing the finger squarely at you personally. And one of the things they're saying is this is about politics in New York, that you might face a primary from Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And she was actually asked about this last night. Listen to what she says.
I saw some Republican members of Congress saying, oh, well, if we have this shutdown, it's because of AOC. Well, if that's the case, my office is open and you are free to walk in and negotiate with me directly. Because what I'm not going to do is tolerate 4 million uninsured Americans because Donald Trump decided one day that he wants to just make sure that kids are dying because they don't have access to insurance.
What about the politics on the left here, Senator?
I agree with her. The politics is with the American people. The American people are getting clobbered by these bad health care decisions by the Republicans. And it is up to the Republicans and Trump to do it. Our motivation, my motivation, is to do my job. When people are having a real crisis, when they're seeing their health care premiums go up close to $1,000, when it's not only the people on ACA but everyone else's premiums who will go up as well, our job is to protect them. That's what we're doing. The way out is bipartisan negotiations. We hope the Republicans will do that soon and now.
Thank you for being with us.